What's up? A to Z Sports here live on a Monday, a little late. I'll let Easton explain the reason why we were late as he shakes his head. Hey, your week's off to a great start, right? Especially when you have a situation like you just had to work through and still working through here. A little bit less of the bells and whistles for Easton today, but we are live here reacting to the Titans' first preseason game, a 29-7 loss in Tampa Bay against the Bucs. But that score doesn't matter, does it? No, of course not. We'll talk about Cam Ward's debut, how he showed off his signature trait, at least one of his signature traits in his Titans debut. Then we'll talk about what mattered most and what stood out most to us from the Titans starters in this first preseason game. And then we'll talk a little backup quarterback situation. Do the Titans have a problem? Do they have an issue with their backups? Do you want to adjust your philosophy? That's a hypothetical question that Easton will answer because he has been the conductor of the bad backup train for the entirety of this offseason. And it's also a Monday, which means Rockin Rando time. We're flipping the script. Easton's turn to try to stump me with somebody that is popular that I probably don't know. So this is going to be a fun show, rocking and rolling here on this Monday. So we'll get this thing off and rolling. Easton, welcome in.
Yeah, good morning, Austin. I guess it's only up from here for me this week as I sit down for the show on time today, sitting here at 8:09, and then my computer is just not recognized by my camera or my charger or my monitor, and all the ports on my computer are they need resetting, I guess, which is a thing I've heard of before, but has never happened to me, and I don't know how to do it on a tight schedule. So I sat there and filled with it for a minute, and then decided we don't have time for this. We're just going to have to roll with the old laptop webcam. That's why I look and sound as bad as I do this morning. Apologies for that. I promise the substance of what we have to talk about today far exceeds the quality of my video programming, which is all that really matters. So looking forward to a good conversation about Saturday's game. As Austin said, the score does not matter, but there were plenty of things that happened in the game that do matter that I'm excited to talk with you all about in the comments. We appreciate your patience as I was panicking over my computer, and now we can get things started after you like the show. Everybody hit that like button on Facebook, on YouTube, and then jump into the comments. A like is the easiest way to be a friend of the program this morning. So like the show, and Austin, let's get it started.
Yep, let's officially welcome into A to Z Sports here live on a Monday. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Easton Freeze, our Titans reporter for A2ZSports.com. We're Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live weekday mornings at 8-ish here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. Hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. Leave us a 5-star Google review for our company. That goes a long way for us, and that's for sure. Also, hit us up on I guess, first of all, I got to thank our sponsors before we continue. Wilson County Hyundai, they make it happen for us. Wilson County Hyundai can help you find that new ride online or in Lebanon at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. And also Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. They are local to the mid-state and online at bartondrury.com. Yes, we are late. Yes, it's because Easton's computer decided to have a spur-of-the-moment game time issue. And there's nothing more stressful that creates instant cold sweat than technology problem right before a deadline, right before you have to do something, and it's just trying to process all of it, right? It's almost like if it's 4th and 2 in the red zone and your headset's not working and you have to run over to the coach and get the play call, then you get the line of scrimmage with 5 seconds left, and then you throw the ball back in the end zone. That's basically, Easton, you know exactly how Brandon Allen felt on 4th and 2 on Saturday night.
Yes, and as big a failure as my morning has been, somehow still not quite as bad as whatever that was.
Maybe. But Easton, we got the computer situated for a moment. What was that? Did you just throw your hands?
I thought you were going to say my audio is off. Is my audio?
Oh, fine? No. You're good.
Okay.
You're okay. You're as good as it's going to get today.
I was ready to throw my computer across the room.
That would not be productive. But let's talk about this game because 29-7. It was a very ugly game in the second half. But also did see Cam Ward 2 series. He had 14 snaps, a 3-and-out on the first series where he had an incomplete pass to Van Jefferson. Look, the broadcast I was watching never showed a replay on the second down play to Van Jefferson. I couldn't tell if the ball was late, if the ball was off target, if Van should have been stronger at the catch point, or if the defender made a really good play. I couldn't tell because I never got a replay of that. But that was the first incompletion for Cam Ward's Titans preseason debut.
No replay, huh?
No replay. Shocker. And then on third down, Cam Ward really did not stay patient at all. He missed a couple open options, rolled to his right, and halfway threw the ball out of bounds. And that was the first series of Cam Ward. But then 11-play, 65-yard drive that he capped off with a Tony Pollard one-yard touchdown for his second and final drive of the night. Let's hear from Brian Callahan on Cam Ward and that performance from Saturday night in Tampa.
Some good, some bad. A lot of guys getting their first NFL action, which was good to see. I thought Cam played well in his 2 series that he got. Kind of a weird first half with 3 possessions. Had one 3-and-out, and then came back and led a touchdown drive. I thought he looked good. Started to feel a little bit comfortable. Was begging to go back in, but that wasn't in the cards for tonight. I thought he did some good things, and it was encouraging.
What was the conversation like after that 3rd and 5 on the first drive for Cam?
Just get ready to go back and do it again. I think there wasn't a whole lot to talk about as far as good or bad. We just like the normal flow of a game is come off the field, go through it, see what the picture looked like and what we could have done, what could have been different, and move on to the next series. So pretty run of the mill.
Did you like how he responded after the holding penalty game, first and 20, and he was able to?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, to overcome a holding penalty in a drive is hard to do, and it was good to see us do it. I thought he made 2 really nice throws to get us back into a manageable spot, and then converted the 3rd down. So excellent, always excellent to see overcoming those holes. You don't like to get put in them, but they happen occasionally, and it's good to see us come out of it.
So there's the head coach Brian Callahan there in the dark in Tampa for whatever reason after the game in Raymond James Stadium. So
his lighting looks like mine right now.
Yeah,
low quality NFL lighting there.
But look, I think Cam did what I think is a signature trait that we will learn to watch Cam Ward, is that if something happens that's not great early, he typically responds pretty solidly. Right, the first joint practice of his NFL career, his first pass against the Bucs on Thursday, intercepted, right? And then he comes back and has a pretty nice day in that joint practice in Tampa. Then his first series in the preseason game, 3-and-out, missed a couple open guys that could have converted a 3rd down to extend that drive. Then what's he do? He comes down the first play, hits Calvin Ridley for a big chunk play, overcomes a holding penalty, as Callahan mentioned there, had a couple 3rd down conversions, and they cap it off with a 1-yard touchdown run with Tony Pollard. So, again, early signature trait of Cam Ward is overcoming something that did not go well early and bouncing back to respond positively. And I think that's a great trait to have if you're an NFL quarterback or really anything. But what would you think of Cam Ward's debut, Easton? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, it's the fundamental difference, unfortunately, between he and Will Levis. We've talked about this on the show, the way that they are similar in the sense that Cam is going to make some knuckleheaded decisions this year. It will be hard to be as knuckleheaded as some of the Will Levis memes from last year, but I'm sure there will be a moment or two this year where you're like, oh my goodness, what was he thinking? Because he is a gunslinger in that way, and that's in his nature. That's a blessing and a curse. The difference, of course, and what makes him hopefully worthy of a number 1 overall pick, hopefully worthy of being a franchise quarterback, is that he's going to come back on the next drive or later in the game and make up for it. He's going to clean up after his messes. He's not going to be phased or knocked off of his spot physically or mentally by things that go wrong. He's going to get back out there and keep swinging. He's kind of a psycho in that way. Will Levis it just wasn't his nature to be able to bounce back. We all could feel it when early in a game, when, was first quarter, second quarter in the Jets game, they're about to score, they're low red zone, and the shovel pass that ends up being a turnover when you should have just lived to play another down, and you get tight, and in your heart, could be downhill from here. And that might have, he might be swimming the rest of the game mentally. You're not worried about that with Cam, and that is, at least to me, that is so reassuring, because it used to be this panic attack inducing. You'd get that in the 11th minute of the game, and you're like, all right, well, here comes 49 minutes of me being worried that's going to impact him the rest of the game. I am not thinking about that with Cam Ward. He may continue to do dumb stuff, but it's not because of the stuff he did previously. It's all independent of one another, which is really nice.
Yeah, Will Levis is like the player who has like a 12-step pregame routine, and if something doesn't go right on like step 9, you gotta start all over. And then like in the third quarter of the game, he's like, "Man, if only step 9 that first time would have gone right, I would have been all right."
Right.
Like, it's just a constant spiral in his head. Or Cam's getting the stadium 6 hours early, watching John Cena movies with his wired-in headphones, and just going out there and just who cares, right? Nothing phases him. So that's a good deal.
My friend Stoney Keeley said the worst thing Cam did on Saturday was watch that terrible John Cena movie, which is true.
I mean, you and your friends, and you're just nose stuck up
Have
in
you
the
seen
air.
that movie?
No, but like it's a John Cena movie. What are you expecting?
Chat.
You're expecting John
It's a bad
Cena
movie.
to do some John Cena stuff, and you can be entertained for 90 minutes. Because not like John
That's
Cena.
a conversation for another time. What's the best John Cena movie? There's plenty to choose from.
Oh, the one where he's a dad with the other, and their daughters are on prom night. It's hilarious. I don't know what the
I know what
movie's
you're
called,
talking about. I forget the
but
name.
it is really funny.
That's a good role for him. Yeah, that is funny.
It is great, right? But like, okay, so anyway, so like Cam Ward comes out there, Blockers.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Very funny movie.
I mean,
Very
stupid
good.
movie, but very funny.
But that's the point. Most John
Yes.
Cena movies are dumb unless it's like him as a Marine. So there's also a show that John Cena had a cameo in that I have on the graphic today, ironically, which is hilarious. So here in this game, I guess let's go ahead and think one. Like if you're doing any type of observations of this Titans game, Calvin Ridley and Cam Ward, that is off to a great start. 3 targets, 3 catches, 50 yards, 3 first downs. Nice 3 plays. I think you saw some signature route from Calvin Ridley too, the quick out on the sideline where Cam threw it to him, a sliding, diving catch for a first down. That's something that is off to a great start. And I know you and I both believe this. You kind of convinced me of this. If you play fantasy football, you can't really take Calvin Ridley too high because he's going to get so much volume. It's crazy.
I was already radicalized on this, and then that drive where it's like bang, 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 and I pull up the stat sheet, and it's Cam Ward, 3 completions for 50 yards. Calvin Ridley, 3 catches for 50 yards. And I'm like, man, he's gonna. It's frustrating to me because I needed to gaslight my friends into holding our draft like in mid-June because I thought I was gonna get him like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get Calvin in the 8th round. But it's too late. I think people are wising up to the fact that Calvin Ridley's. He's going to get like 200 targets this year. It's going to be outrageous. Unless Alec Iamander turns into a stud, which I'm not taking off the board, it's going to be the Calvin Ridley show for a lot of the year. And as long as he's upright and healthy and alive, man, those two are going to be all over each other. And something that I think is a force multiplier for that connection, by the way, is we can kind of, maybe transition to this. The protection that I think Cam Ward is going to get a lot of this year. A part of Calvin Ridley's game is his ability to get open with his wiggle and his burst in the deep third, and that requires time. And you saw that on their first connection, 27-yard strike. Cam has all day back there, and then he throws to Calvin Ridley, who is as open as you will ever see. You're not going to get that open in the regular season, but like if he can get that open like that in games when you give Cam time back there, it's curtains. Those two are going to they may not win games, but they're going to put up a bajillion yards. And so the protection was a nice thing to see. But, maybe, Austin, what did you think of the offensive lines, the starting offensive line, the 3.5 starters on the offensive line getting 14 snaps?
Well, I think we'll get into that because I don't want to spoil too many answers for our first question here on the show. But, so for Calvin Ridley, 3 catches, 50 yards. Chikakonko had a 1 catch for 10 yards. It converted a long 3rd down that you'd like to see. Tyler Lockett had his 1 catch for 7 yards, a 3rd down completion and conversion to get into that goal to go situation. So quick off the top of your head, Easton, how many Titans players received at least 1 pass target Saturday night? How many Titans players? Yes. How many Titans players received a target, at least 1 target in that game?
I mean, David Martin Robinson was getting targets. It was like everybody. 11?
You said 11.
Yeah.
So the Bucs had 10.
Okay.
11's low.
Low?
Low.
14 guys? How many guys?
That's low.
Are
If
you
I
serious?
told you 20 Titans players received at least one target Saturday. Would you believe me?
There's no way. No, I
There
don't.
is
I don't believe you.
Here are the amount
Name
of
them.
players. I will name them. Ready? You can count. You can use your fingers and toes if you want to. Calvin Ridley, Gunnar Helm, Tajae Spears, TJ Sheffield, Bryce Oliver, Chiga Conquo, DMR, Julius Chestnut, Tyler Lockett, Josh Wiley, Chimere Dike, Jordan Mims. I'll stop there because that's all
Jordan
the
Mims
people-
was getting targets. That's
Jordan
crazy.
Mims got 2 catches. Jordan Mims. That was all the players who had a catch. Here are the following players who had a target but no catches. Ready? James Prochet, Van Jefferson, Mason Kinsey, Matt Landers, Jaquan Jackson, Drake Dabney, Xavier Estrepo, Alec Ayumanner.
Drake Dabney got a target. Heck yeah. That's wild. I mean, they are spreading the rock.
20 players had a target. There were only 15 completions the entire game from the Titans offense.
How many attempts for 20 players?
That would be a total of 33.
That's crazy. 33 attempts to 20 different players.
Oh, that is insane.
I wonder if that was like a stated focus going into the game. Like, hey, let's see if we can throw the ball to everybody that can catch the ball today.
And Misha Austin must be including all the Bucs players targeted by the Titans too. Boom, nice.
That's even more. That's 23 guys.
All right, so no, let's go ahead and ask the question, get the audience more involved here because look, we're talking about Cam Ward. We're talking about the starters that played. What encouraged you most about the Titans starters versus the Bucs? What encouraged you most about the Titans starters versus the Bucs in that game? So feel free to share that in the comment section. We will get to your opinions and your thoughts here in a moment. But first, we'll tell you guys about our great friends at Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. They're local to the Mid-State area. They also are experts in the insurance field, which is very overwhelming. Remember the last time you've ever had to shop for insurance? It is not fun. It is stressful. It is something that you wish you could put off and put off and put off until you can no longer do it anymore. But that's where the Barton Drury team comes
dealing
into
with
play.
insurance, Austin.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah.
I love dealing with insurance.
If you were on the show tomorrow, your shade would be top level. But you're not. So maybe you can talk about that later on. Oh, well, bummer. But no, if you had the Barton Drury team, then you probably would have avoided this situation you were in.
Probably.
Situation from over a year ago, because that was before A to Z's relationship with Barton Drury began, because Zach and I were trying to find the right insurance company to be our partners for our employee benefits, our workers' comp is through Barton Drury Insurance, and they can do so many things for your family or individually or your company and employers right there. So check them out online. They're local to the mid-state area. Big Titans fans as well. BartonDrury.com.
There's so much more to say, but first, make sure you've liked the show and then leave us a 5-star Google review if you would not mind. Go to Google, search ATOZ Sports, hit that 5th star on the right, and leave us whatever kind of feedback you would like us to read, because we do read them. We do appreciate them. And when they come in the form of a 5-star review, we are happy to listen to anything that you want to say, any qualms you might have about the show. We are always looking to get better as long as it comes in the form of a 5-star review. Thank you for leaving those.
All right, so what encouraged you most about the Titans starters versus the Bucs? I will send you to the chat, Easton, to see what the audience is saying here. What encouraged people the most?
Let's see. Scrolling back up because so many of you have chimed in. Holy cow. All right. Easily the offensive line, says Colin. Apologies for my computer shaking as I press these buttons. Brendan says Cam Ward's beautiful 3+ seconds to pass behind that offensive line, the protection. So people are all over the offensive line, understandably. Ridley and Ward is what Major Keys was excited to see. The offensive line, the protection, the offensive line. The O-line gave Cam so much time to throw. Cam Ward just looking solid. Cam's bounce back after the 3 and out. I'm with you on that, Brad. Titans Kyle agrees, the bounce back. The pass blocking from Elo, the O-line protection. Cam Ward didn't seem pressured. The O-line. So three answers that are most common in descending order are Cam and Calvin, Cam's ability to bounce back, and then 10,000 responses about the offensive line.
Yeah, I think all those are fair. Now, we're not just limiting to the offense. You can answer some defensive questions if you want to, or with some answers. But
how much encouraging was there from that defense? Not a whole lot.
There were a couple linebackers that played pretty well.
Yeah, I think there's one answer. Pretty much.
Yeah, well, there's two:
Yeah.
James Williams and Cedric Gray. Cedric Gray had a good game.
That's
James
fair.
Williams.
Good point.
James Williams just showed up more. One, because he's long and fast. Two, because he's wears red accent gear, and three, because he just hit the bleep out of people on Saturday night too. So that James Williams is just a psychopath. He just a missile out there. So my answer is actually going to go with the Cam Ward signature trait of responding, because I tweeted this out there right before the second drive, and I texted you in our chat with JT and Ryan. What if a second 3-and-out happened? And this is like a lot of people on Twitter like thought this was like coaching decision thing. I was thinking hypothetical on like big business. I'm thinking the people that are above Chad Brinker and above Mike Borgonzi. If Cam Ward's first game goes 3-and-out, yeah, Amy and Burke Nihill, basically, and then some others, right? Their advisors. That the room, the high level room. If there were 6 plays, 0 first downs, and 2 punts, and maybe like 1 for 3 or passing, and Cam Ward was done for the night, a lot of people would be pretty pissed off watching this show right now. That you know, Twitter would be flaming. Facebook would be absurdly crazy. And not that means anything, but for those big people up on the ivory tower, on the highest levels of the Titans facility, up in their offices watching practice from a balcony, those people are thinking, Coach, give him a third series, because they know their business revolves around number one. And number one had to show something to make everybody just feel okay. Just get a little taste and then just, okay, I'm good. And so all it took for me to wipe away that hypothetical was the first play of the second drive, where he hit Ridley for 27 yards. It's like, all right, never mind, all good. So it's fine. Proceed with the plan. But man, I don't know what would have happened, because the right football move, the right coaching move for Brian Callahan is to stick to the plan. 2 series. Okay. We'll get him next time. No big deal. Get 2 joint practices in Atlanta next week. We'll do it again next Friday. But man, that's business. That's a different business decision, not a football decision. I hear you. So Cam's ability to bounce back, to avoid any of that stuff, I think is just a good sign of things to come to.
Yeah, I agree, and that was going to be my answer. I won't beat this dead.
So what would you think about my hypothetical that never had to come to fruition? Like, is there a call from like a red phone, the landline down to the sideline, if they still have those? It's like, Brian, keep him in there. Like, who is this? Who is this? Like, just this voice from the sky. Brian, one more.
I think there would be a temptation for it to happen. I think the circumstances of the rain and the field that they were already not happy to be playing on in the first place would have been the deciding factor there. I mentioned this to you in the moment. It's not even about having Cam out there on that turf. Like, he's young, he's a quarterback. I'm not really all that worried about him. I was worried about the starting offensive lineman you had in there playing on that turf. That's exactly the kind of turf where one wrong step changes the future of your entire season, because of you had both of your bookend tackles and your best offensive lineman in the game, and the guy that you need to start at center for you probably on week 1, who's not the starter. But if you lose him, then you might really be in some hot water. So it was very important to me to not have those guys on that crappy field any longer than they needed to be. And I would like to think that the powers that be understand that as well, and would say, if this was Atlanta, if we were on the turf inside and it was 70 degrees in here, and this may happen this week on Friday, something like that could happen, because we don't quite know yet how much we expect to see from Cam Ward. They're going to have 2 joint practices. So does that mean less of Cam Ward, or does it mean they're going to do more of it since it's a controlled environment inside, and they're going to try to ramp him up? Maybe each preseason game we get a little bit more of Cam Ward. I don't know what the plan is quite yet, but I think that may have been a situation where they were thinking about it. But I think on Saturday, the mission everyone understood to be, can we please just survive? Can we survive this sloppy? I mean, it is August 9th. Can we please not lose anybody important tonight on Tampa's crappy field? But temptation to call down.
Did they?
Yeah, absolutely.
and then what happened? Tajae Spears, and I again, replays were not exactly the most helpful thing during that broadcast, but I don't know what Tajae Spears' ankle, how it happened, what it looked like, all of this, but it did not go well. So Tajae Spears, high ankle sprain on a 13-yard catch, and out for multiple weeks, whatever that means, several weeks with a high ankle sprain, out for the preseason. Expectations is he should be okay for the regular season, but that does suck for Tajae Spears. I think that's brutal just for anybody who's followed Tajae Spears' career for this to continue to happen.
I am quite upset about it.
Rob him of all momentum every time he gets it.
He is there are players that, not to like throw strays at Treylon Burks on a random Monday morning, but there are players like Burks who, because of their circumstances and because of what they do when they're healthy, they're the kind of player that constantly gets hurt and fans hate them for it. And then there are the kind of players like Tajae Spears who constantly get hurt and fans are mostly just heartbroken over it because he's not your wide receiver one. He's not somebody you spent a first round draft pick on, right? So you're not like furious when the guy's not available. It feels kind of like gravy when the guy's in there. And he's not your starting running back either. He's also at a position that's less impactful than wide receiver. But man, when he's healthy, we've all seen it. He's got serious juice. Like the guy can play. He's so fun to watch. When you get, he's a top 3 player on this team in terms of get the guy in space and let's see what happens. Like he's just,
you have to say that those two phrases combined.
Yes,
top player on this team with the ball in space.
Yes. If you give me the opportunity to put the ball in a player's hand and give them 5 yards of open field in front of them, like he is one of the first 3 guys I named because I trust him to do something exciting with it. That is his forte. And he just can't. The story on him is almost, it feels almost written, right? Like it's August 11th. Like, let's see how quick he comes back from this. And I'm not going to already call it a wash of a season, but as I wrote about in June or in July, this is the biggest football season of Tajae Spears' entire life. That's not hyperbole. That is the reality. It is not a contract year for him, but it is essentially a contract year for him because Tony Pollard's future with this team is entirely uncertain after this year. Khalil Mullings was not drafted to be a guy that's going to be like a bell cow in the future. We'll see. I'm not going to write him off yet, but that's not really his profile. The future of the position for this team is uncertain after this year. And Tajae will be in a contract year next year. And this is essentially 2025 is his chance to convince the powers that be that did not draft him, that have no commitment to him. And he's not their guy. He's not their guy to say, hey, you guys have to keep me. Like, you need to make me a part of the plan. I'm too good. You have to, and he has to bear that out on the field. He has to go and do that. And if he's not healthy, he can't. And that's what's so frustrating to me is because I think he's good enough to be able to go out there this year and his body of work to say, you guys must make me a part of the plan at running back going forward. Next year's a contract year. Like, we're going to go into it wondering if Tajae Spears is going to be around because we had a really strong third year. He's finally healthy. And it's off to just the worst possible start.
Yeah. Eric says Tajae Spears is Burks 2.0. That's not accurate at all because Tajae Spears is actually good at football. Treylon Burks is not good at football. He's just not. And like, that's what my tweet when the Titans waived Treylon Burks after he got hurt, I said, this is a player whose injuries covered up the fact that he's just not a very good receiver. Tajae Spears is a good running back. Tajae Spears can't stay healthy. Those two things are facts. Treylon Burks is not a good wide receiver, and he also can't stay healthy. Also facts. So that's why I think Tajae Spears should continue to get grace where Treylon Burks no longer has grace overall. So, and look, Chris says Spears is not a second contract player. I don't think many thought he was going to be that either. And also, Tajae Spears 2026 is a contract year, as it is with Tony Pollard. So there's some interesting lining up of contracts for the running backs. They're a season away from this one. So anyway, so did you answer your question officially on what? Okay, I'll let you get into it now. Sorry.
I really like. It's one of the obvious ones. Like, I think that your answer is the right answer. The way that Cam bounced back. We've already talked about how the Ridley thing was super exciting, and then James Williams and Cedric Gray, the young linebackers, are the highlight of the defensive side of the ball from that game. I'm going to kind of sidestep actually answering, and let's talk about the offensive line situation, because I agree with folks that it was an exciting looking situation. Like it felt like have you ever seen those videos where somebody that's deaf gets like an implant and like they hear for the first time, and like they hear their, a 5-year-old kid hears for the first time, they hear their mother's voice for the first time, and everybody just starts breaking down crying because it's like, I had no idea the world was like this. Somebody sees color. This are those glasses they have designed for people that are like colorblind.
Yeah.
They see color for the first time, and it's like, oh my, that's what it felt like watching the Titans offensive line block for Cam Ward. It's like, I didn't know this was possible. I've never seen this before for the Tennessee Titans. That being said, let's not hand out any awards yet. Like I saw a lot of victory, maybe not victory lapping, but like a lot of excitement on Twitter, which I'm not trying, like nobody can doubt my belief in the ability of this offensive line. I have written extensively. I wrote an entire article about how your expectations for this offensive line should be high, and you should be loud and proud about them. You should not be scared about this offensive line based on the past 3 years. Don't let the PTSD keep you from having high expectations for this group. And maybe that's a part of the reason why I'm not wanting to why I'm wanting to pump the brakes just a little bit. Because like I said, you had 3.5-ish starters out there. Okay. You had both of your starting tackles. You had your best offensive lineman in Peter Skoronski, and you had your backup center who's going to be the starting center week 1. You expect him to be a replacement level starter. You were going against and I have them written down, the guys that they were blocking against in those 14 snaps: Greg Gaines, defensive lineman 4, CJ Brewer, defensive lineman 5, Adam Gotsis, defensive lineman 6, and then on the edge, Chris Braswell, Alabama legend, edge 3, and Anthony Nelson, edge 4. Those are the guys that they were playing against. J.C. Latham and Peter Skoronski should be putting those guys in lockers. Like that's the bare minimum expectation. If they're struggling at all against those guys, we've got a serious problem. So, and they're also not facing anything exotic in any way. Very, very, like nobody is emptying the chamber on stunts or fun pass rush moves, or they're just lining up and running at the quarterback. They're also, third point, playing on a surface which we established on the flip side of the ball, with Draymond Jones looking like he was going to get his first sack of the season, and then just the floor coming out from under him, the rug being pulled out because of that terrible grass and the rain and everything. Not conducive to pass rush. That's an offensive line advantage, not a defensive line advantage. So all of those things being considered, let's wait. Let's see it in the regular season against real starting defensive linemen, because what they did on Saturday was great. It was a fantastic start. It was exciting to see that even happen. I hope that we see glimpses of that kind of protection in the regular season. I think that they're capable of doing that kind of thing in regular season. So I'm not saying that was a mirage necessarily. Yeah. I'm just saying I need to see it against a real defense.
Yeah, Edwards says, Easton, if they look bad, we'd be talking about it. Stop it. No.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it was starters playing against backups. Starters should win. They did what they were supposed to do, right? So it's not that we're not dogging the Titans offensive line. We're just saying that's exactly what the varsity team should beat the JV team, right? If JV team beat the varsity team, then people would be in trouble in varsity, right? You got the football, but so it's expected. It was expected for the Titans offensive line to do a good job in the first 14 plays on Saturday night because of the starters versus backups. Now, everything Easton said after that, absolutely. It's not a negative. It's just it's box check.
Double thumbs up. Well done. Super exciting to see that proof of concept. Now let's see it ramp up against better talent. That's all. All I'm saying is let's not no awards yet. We're not handing out awards yet.
They did what they were supposed to do. They did their job and they move on. Right? It's exactly. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the bad, ugly part of this, because the Titans' backup quarterbacks were atrocious. As good as Cam Ward looked in that second drive, where he went 5 of 6 for 67 yards to lead a touchdown drive. Brandon Allen went 6 of 12 for 62 yards. Tim Boyle went 4 of 13 for 24 yards. They combined for 3 interceptions. They were both sacked at a time. And Tim Boyle had a quarterback rating of 0.6. 0.6. I think you get that for just signing your name on the piece of paper. So that's pretty bad, right? So
awesome.
Gonna ask this question here. It's a yes or no. Do you want the Titans to pursue backup quarterback options. Do you want the Titans to pursue backup quarterback options? We'll get to your opinions on that in a second. But first, the Bone and Joint Institute is making sure they can take care of you whenever an injury pops up in life. They do phenomenal work. They've got all the experts in the mid-state area of Nashville, Tennessee, in Franklin, off I-65 and Highway 96. Boneandjointtn.org is a website. So whenever an injury happens in life, just like in football, stuff does happen. And you don't want that adult injury to be a major inconvenience to your family, your personal goals, maybe your work, your social life. Don't be on the sidelines and don't fumble on that recovery. Head to the best, and that is the Bone and Joint Institute. Once again, in Franklin, they've got everything right there under one roof in their state-of-the-art facility that's just about 4 or 5 years old. So check them out online, boneandjointtn.org.
So much more to say, but first, make sure that you like the show and then leave us a 5-star Google review. Search ATOZ Sports on Google and leave us a 5-star review. We appreciate your feedback. Your feedback is a gift. Thank you guys for filling those out.
Yeah, real quick before you get to those answers. King VC, lock in, like the show. Hit that like button. That goes a long way. Thank you. All right, so to the chat you go, Easton. Yes or no? Do the Titans need a different backup situation? What are people saying?
People are saying, Jonathan says, nah. Duran says, absolutely not. Michael says, yes, they do. Pass the time. Gaming says, yes, they do. Sean says, both need to be cut. Rooney says, yes, they do. Our backups look terrible. Yes, that was so bad. Yes. Yes. Yes, bring on Tannehill. I don't think he's wanting to be a part of this. Yes. Yes, a couple of no's from Damien and from NM Titan. Jeff, Big Ten Jeff with a resounding yes. Eric with a yes. Andre says no, let the backup stink. So it is just eyeballing it. I'd say 75, 80% of the chat thinks no doubt the Titans need to address the backup situation some form or fashion before the beginning of the season.
Okay, I put up a YouTube poll, so I want more time for these votes to come in here because Easton, before you give your opinion on this question, and before I give my opinion on this question, go back through and tell us your philosophy for the 2025 Titans on the backup quarterback job.
Yes, put simply, I believe that the backup quarterback position in the NFL is one of the most underrated positions on good teams and one of the most overrated positions on bad teams. So when teams are good, when teams are expecting to win games and get into the playoffs and try to win a ring, I think that almost always these teams are not paying enough attention to, dedicating enough resources to the backup quarterback situation, because nothing can sink a good team's good season quite like a 1 month span where you need the backup and the guy just can't hang. The guy just stinks. On the flip side of that, teams that are bad, or in the case of the Titans, teams that are rebuilding, teams that are clearly, they want to win. They would love to, play with some house money this year and, ruin some seasons, maybe even sneak into the playoffs, but they don't have any actual Super Bowl expectations. And as a lot of people in the NFL will tell you, a lot of GMs have famously gone on radios and TV before and talked about how in reality, maybe a third of the league any given year really in their heart of hearts has Super Bowl aspirations and is trying to win the whole thing, right? It feels about right. Like 10 to 12 teams are in that department every year. The Titans are not one of those teams. And so when you are not one of those teams, dedicating big resources to the backup position is almost always unnecessary, in my opinion. And teams in that category tend to overrate the important fans of teams in that category tend to overrate the importance of the position. I think the Titans are, and it's different for each team, right? Like if we're talking about, a team like the Dolphins, where I think it would be fair. I would say that they're not in that top 10 or 12 teams going for a title this year, but they have an established, highly paid starting quarterback who, they think maybe can catch fire. Like different teams in this department have different reasons to want a decent backup. I would understand wanting a decent backup on the Dolphins. Now they don't seem to think so because they went and paid Zach Wilson, but that's neither here nor there. The Titans, I think, are the prime example of a team in the bad category or the non-contending category who should not, it would behoove them as a franchise long-term to have a bad backup. I'm not even talking, there's one thing to waste resources and to dedicate things to the backup that you could be dedicating to other positions. And that's part of it. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the, God forbid, circumstances where the starting quarterback cannot go and what it is best for your organization to do if you lose that starter. And with Cam Ward, this season is all about him, right? The 2025 Tennessee Titans will live or die by Cam Ward. They go the way that Cam Ward goes. And so just like the 2021 Bengals, 2020 Bengals, the Joe Burrow, rookie Joe Burrow Bengals, the 2020 Bengals, when that dire situation happens and Joe Burrow's knee explodes on that speaking of terrible fields, that Washington field, they had 5 games left in the season, maybe more than that, a third of the season, half of the season.
It was they had 6 games left. That was the
okay. That sounds about right. So they had a good chunk of the season left, and in that circumstance, they did the right thing for the franchise long term. They chose to stink with the back. I forget the names of the backups off the top of my head. They were quite bad.
One of them
Finley?
is Brandon
Finley
Allen.
one of them?
Brandon Allen started 5 games. Ryan Finley started 1.
Okay, yeah, the really bad, and that's crazy. Brandon Allen was the clear better of the two. Finley was truly awful. Brandon Allen was just regular awful. And they combined to win, I believe, no games down the stretch. And the Bengals ended up with the 5th overall pick and drafted Jamar
They
Chase.
won some because Burrow was 2-7-1 when he got hurt.
Okay, so they won a game.
So they had they had the 5th overall pick, and that's where they got Jamar Chase. Yeah.
Okay, well, they lost the games that were important down the stretch. I remember that that last game was a true tankathon bowl. I think it was Bengals Dolphins, actually, and both teams were not so subtly trying to lose the game. And
that was the year before. That was the year before.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay, excuse me.
That the Burrow and Tua.
That was to get Burrow. Excuse me. Listen, the Bengals have been in so many obvious tank situations, it's hard to keep them straight. But the point remains that they did what they needed to do down that stretch to end up getting an incredible talent like Jamar Chase, and the rest is history. The Titans would be as constituted right now if Cam Ward were to go down again. God forbid, I hope that we don't have to talk about this. They would be quite bad offensively, right? But that is, I had a lot of people who have heard me give this spiel before that were kind of on board with me heading into Saturday night's game, then text me or DM me or tweet at me and say, man, I was with Easton on this until I sat and watched that second, third, and fourth quarter of Brandon Allen and Tim Boyle. And I can't do it, man. I don't have the stomach for it. I don't know how. And one person said, Easton must really believe this in his heart because he's watched these guys for 3 weeks at practice every day. And he still thinks this. And it's true. This was not what I saw in that game was not shocking to me in the least because I have seen these guys practice and play football already. But it takes it. I want to leave you with this, Austin, and then I'll quit monologuing. The fact that it is unwatchable is not a flaw. It is the function of my theory. It is the point. It's not an unfortunate side effect. It's the whole reason for doing it in the first place.
So there's a lot of comments that I've favorited throughout this. So Nick says y'all are acting like Cam will be out for the whole season if he were to get hurt. What if it's just 1 or 2 games? That's a fair thing to talk through, right? And somebody's where was the other one? Sean says if they are in the hunt mid-season and Cam goes down, if they're in the hunt mid-season, go get somebody else. Right. If Cam goes down early, then tank. And then people bring it up and if Cam gets hurt, then I want the Titans to get the highest pick available to get better. Steven, if Cam gets hurt, it's tanking time. Boston Diamond, also not wrong. So y'all are saying tanking like Miss Amy has shown the patience, LMAO. Also true. So and
we take these one at a time because I want to. These are all great comments. I want to address everything that they're saying. To Boston Diamond's point, which I think is the most obvious, which is like, well, can the coaching staff really take Easton's mentality because it might cost them their jobs? I understand where you're coming from. This is a like college class, like a college 301 class, theory on a whiteboard, and we know that theories don't always apply perfectly to the real world. The theory only works if you as a franchise have the wherewithal to know what's best for you and not fire people for Tim Boyle games. Like, does that make sense? Like if this coaching staff, if their job, if Cam were to go down and this coaching staff's jobs the rest of the season were riding or dying with Brandon Allen games, then you've got deeper problems, brother. Because if that's the deciding factor for an organization, an ownership group to decide whether or not a coach should stay or should go, you've lost the plot. Like Brandon Allen wins or losses should not be what determines a coach's hiring or firing.
Now, when you're Brian Dable and the Giants, and you're in that situation, that's how you end up with a quarterback room of Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Jackson Dart.
Right.
Because
exactly,
it's the craziest plot because he has no option but to try to win with something. So I think, and then more of these comments that I was trying to get to because
it's also situational. I appreciate what folks are saying about like, well, what if Cam goes down in week 1? Okay, and you're facing 16 games, 15 games of these guys. In that circumstance, I do think, again, God forbid, an extreme circumstance like that, then I think for the development of the rest of the team, you can't literally waste an entire year of the development of the rest of the team toiling with unworkable quarterback. So in that case, you probably still have to go get a quarterback that can not win you games, but like, somebody like Jameis, maybe where you can continue to develop Ellick and Chimere and, and Gunner and these guys that need it.
Yeah.
And then the question of, well, what if he goes down for 1 or 2 games and they're in the hunt? Like define in the hunt. Are we talking about like they are shockingly 7-2 in week 10 and suddenly Cam goes down? Because if that's the case, then sure. But that means the Titans are way ahead of schedule and the math has changed entirely. I'm not expecting that to happen.
Exactly. And Callahan has not lost his job. He's probably extended it.
Right. If they're 4-5 and you're like, oh, they're in the hunt and Cam goes down for a week or 2, I don't care. I'm sorry.
It depends on now with that. It depends on do they start 1-5 and win 3 in a row?
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure.
So okay.
Right.
So here's
but if they're average mid-season, then it's different.
Yeah. Here's my theory because I've got the YouTube poll up, and the question is: do you want the Titans to pursue a different backup quarterback options? Yes is 61%. No is 39%. So more yeses than no's. So they want another backup.
Yeah, but I thought it would be way more lopsided than that.
Okay, so you thought that would be a higher
61%.
Number.
Oh,
so here I'm a no because you guys are flipping out about Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle does not matter. He's Boyle
gone, brother.
He's in the practice squad. He will get cut and brought back.
You're not going to see him again is the point.
Yes, Tim Boyle will never play in a regular season game for the Titans. The backup quarterback is Brandon Allen. If Cam Ward gets hurt and Brandon Allen has to start games, then Tim Boyle will stay on the practice squad and another player from not in the franchise will be signed to be Brandon Allen's backup.
Oh,
Tim
no.
Boyle
He's going to get the Hendon Hooker treatment.
Yes, Tim Boyle is an extension of the coaching staff.
Right.
Let me say this again. Tim Boyle is the extension of the coaching staff. He is a very, very good game planner, and a great teammate. I learned that the day he was signed by the Titans by a former teammate of his for a long time. He is a great game planner. The reason why, if you know, the psych graphic on the screen right there is there because Tim Boyle is Nick Conforth. He sucks in live action, but he can teach. And that's what you got with Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle never needs to be in the field. Tim Boyle does not need to be out there chasing down criminals. Tim Boyle can teach Cam Ward how to do his job better on the field. But Tim Boyle can't do it on the field. So you've got Nick Conforth teaching Cam Ward, which is not bad because Nick Conforth did a really good job in the police academy and taking all of his tests. He just can't do it because he gets all shaky and he throws picks. So if you get it, you get it. If you don't, then you can go watch Psych.
Yeah, as Bustin' Diamond says, those who can't teach, which is exactly what Tim Boyle.
But a lot of times.
Right.
In Tim Boyle's case,
that fits Tim. Yeah.
Yes, he is an extension of the coaching staff, Chris says he's an overpaid coach. He's going to be on the practice squad.
Underpaid coach, actually.
Yeah,
he's getting the vet minimum. He's not overpaid.
Yeah. And he's going to be on the practice squad too. So what's that practice squad contract going to look like? Not his current contract that he signed under because he's going to get cut from it.
Right. I think it's like $600K or something.
Yeah.
And what did Brandon have? He was 6 for 12 for 50 yards or something in this game.
Who cares? Right.
Who cares? Right. But like my point is it wasn't a 0.6 quarterback rating. And Brandon, the thing about Brandon is that like his arm is just so weak. Like it's disqualifyingly weak. He just can't drive the ball at all. But he didn't make he didn't make outrageously dumb decisions, which is the thing that I think Callahan likes in him in the first place. I'm not sitting here trying to say Brendan Allen is good. My whole point is that Brendan Allen is bad, and I appreciate that he's bad because I want a bad quarterback on the team.
But he's
not
as well is also an extension of the coaching staff.
Yes. I guess my point is that I trust Brandon Allen more in a spot where he has to get out there, not like, is he going to do things that allow significant development of some of these players? Maybe not, but is he going to just hand the ball off to the other team over and over and over? I also think probably not. I don't think he's a bad decision maker.
Yeah. I mean, did Bryce Oliver had a sweet catch on 3rd and 10 for a first down from Brandon Allen? It's a good play.
True.
Now, Brandon Allen also criminally underthrew Chimere Dike on an out route or a corner route that was just.
He's got a noodle, man. He's got a noodle.
And so again, so my answer is no. They do not need to look for other backup quarterbacks players right now because Tim Boyle is not the problem. Don't worry about Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle is there to be a practice player and to help in the classroom. That is all Tim Boyle's goal is. But he's going to play in these next 2 preseason games because they don't want the other 2 guys to get hurt.
Right. I agree. And I look forward to seeing what comedy results of it. I also look forward to on cut down day when, Jameis Winston is floating out there and there are options. I can't wait for this conversation to be rehashed once again in 3 weeks from now.
Because Bork had a comment. I'm trying to scroll back up to it. He says, people act like elite backup QBs grow on trees. Go sign guy. Okay, who? I mean, I actually think this particular cut down at the quarterback position is going to have some names on there. The Browns have 2 veterans in Flacco and 3 veterans with Tyler Huntley, with Flacco, Pickett, and Huntley, and they have 2 draft picks. That's 5 quarterbacks. 2 of them are going to get cut, and it's probably not the 2 draft picks.
It's Pickett and Huntley.
Yeah. And so Kenny Pickett way better than what the Titans have behind Cam Ward.
Barely, but yeah.
Tommy DeVito is going to get cut probably. Alongside,
I don't need Tommy DeVito in my life.
You think Jameis Winston's going to get cut?
I think there's a chance. I mean, they're based on that contract. I think they're going to want to because you can't keep that contract.
I don't know what his.
They'll try to put him on P squad, but I don't think he'll go.
But isn't that crazy? There's the Giants are in a spot to where you're going to keep 3. I mean, they could keep 3, right?
They could choose to if they want to just keep paying all those guys. Sure, why not? I mean, that signing. I remember the day that they signed Jameis in the spring. It was maybe sneaky the most confusing signing any team made. It didn't make any sense at the time. It makes no sense now. Why Jameis is there, I have no idea.
They signed him first, then they signed Russell Wilson.
I know it made no sense at the time. It made no sense.
Bork says,
it was a panic move.
Please give us Winston and Cam in the same roster. That would be. I mean, those guys are they?
They'd be oil and water, man.
They're just as opposite as they are the same, in a way, in a weird.
A little
way.
bit, yeah.
They've got the same kind of demeanor in a way, but just one's a caricature version, and the other one's Cam Ward, very serious. If Jameis Winston showed up to the stadium 6 hours,
they're both kind of happy-go-lucky, but one is like a dialed QB1.
But Jameis Winston showing up 6 hours early to the stadium, I think who's cutting who off at this point? Never mind. My joke's over. I tried
don't
twice. Know. Okay.
The point is Jameis wouldn't work. All right.
Yeah, he would not work. All right. Because we're having some obvious connectivity issues for whatever reason here. Let's go ahead and get to our Rockin Rando, where Easton's flipping the script on me. See if he can stump me for this time. Rockin Rando here on this Monday. But first, shout out to Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. Go see Wilson County Hyundai in Lebanon. Our buddy Payne Bones out there giving you a great deal on new rides there in Lebanon. Online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. My chat is hidden as you are getting your Rockin Rando set, Easton. I will tell you, I'll tell the audience kind of what we have coming up this week, because Easton, after today's show, at some point, you're making your way down to Atlanta. The Titans have a joint practice with the Falcons tomorrow, Tuesday, and then also on Wednesday before we get to Friday night's preseason game. So you will be in Atlanta the next time we see you. We will not see you on the show tomorrow, but we will on Wednesday. And you'll have other content, obviously, coming from joint practice in Atlanta. But that's going to be a busy week. Bucs also down there as well, doing prime time from Atlanta for the week of joint practices and the preseason game on Friday. So Easton is now Rockin Rando time. Hit me with what you got.
All right. The esteemed brain trust of Easton and JT met this morning to discuss what the resident Zoomers would like to present Austin with.
The Zoomers.
And that is what we are. Gen Z's, the Zoomers. You never heard that before? It's awfully old of you. All right, so I have two options for you. One, the only reason I have two is because the one that I wanted to do should be very obvious. Like this should, I didn't want a total dud, but I'm questioning whether or not you even know this guy. The chat's going to know who he is immediately. So if you know who he is immediately, we'll go with the backup. All right, because the backup is harder. So here's your first option. And again, I'm not sticking to the football player element.
No, this is non-football. This is you're trying to stump Gen Z, trying to stump millennial guy. Yes.
Now, to be fair, this guy does have a football connection, which we'll talk about in a minute. But here he is. Do you know who this is?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Doesn't
Not
he have
immediately
like
obvious.
Isn't it like a one-word name?
It is. Chat's all over it. They also know his government name, which is good. There's a million comments.
I know.
Already.
I can see him. I can see the comment.
You're all right.
Number, the red numbers counting from since I hit it. Shoot.
And every single one of them is right. There are no shots in the dark. They're all correct.
Is it Ninja?
It is Ninja. It is Ninja. All right. So good job. You got Ninja, only the most famous streamer of all time.
Okay.
Noted,
I knew
Detroit
I was
Lions
so
fan.
I was trying to think something snake, but it wasn't that obviously. So okay.
Right.
So I got that
That's
one.
Ninja.
How about that?
I'm impressed. Well done. Let's just for kicks and gigs, because I don't want to do streamers again after today. Like we'll exhaust the streamer. So another streamer for you. There's no way you know who this is. I'm curious to know if the chat knows who this is, but he is right now. I would say he's more popular than Ninja even is. Do you know who this is?
Was that Jinxie?
Oh, you know who Jinxie is. Wow. Well done. It is Jinxie.
Because,
how do you know who Jinxie is?
Because he's like best friends with what's his name? That went viral like crap. Now I forget. Sketch? Yeah. Yeah, he's like best friend.
Okay, so you know him through Sketch. I see.
Yes.
See. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I know Jinxie because
you know what?
Sketch.
Hats off to you. You're a little bit less old in my mind after today. I'm impressed. We were certain you would not know who Jinxie is.
There was a time where I just got Sketch content nonstop.
Right. Yeah, he was
and
so hot.
I don't know the last time I've seen him.
Last year.
Like I really have no idea the last time I've seen him.
He burned bright for like 6 months, and then I think we learned all there is to know about Sketch.
But man, I mean, really entertaining story. Like the Sketch story is hilarious and wild.
Very wild. So you couldn't tell me the first thing about Jinxie. You just know him as Sketch's friend.
I know he does stuff with Sketch. So yes. Okay. I'm assuming he plays Fortnite.
He does not. He plays a different game.
What game?
The name of which I'm blanking on. It's not PUBG. Rainbow Six Siege, I believe, is what he plays.
Yeah, no idea what that is.
It's like Call of Duty, but way more sweaty.
Way more sweaty?
Oh, is that another little slang you're not hip to?
I guess not. I mean, I know what being sweaty is.
Way more try hard. Way more sweats on Rainbow Six Siege than COD.
Okay.
It's like you gotta. It's not. You don't casually play Rainbow Six Siege. You get your.
Oh, you have to it's only for serious people.
You get your teeth kicked in for a long time before you get good at Rainbow Six Siege.
You can't just hop on the sticks and play a game with your buddies in the dorm kind of thing.
Right. Like if you enjoy playing COD and you're like, I'm going to play Rainbow Six Siege. If you want to get good at it, you're going to sit there and you're going to get murdered for about 3 months before you're actually maybe sort of halfway decent.
I mean, that was me playing COD, so.
Right. So you would give up on Rainbow Six Siege. I would also give up on Rainbow Six Siege.
I would never start.
I don't have patience for that. Yeah, same. I think JT is very good at it because he is crazy enough to get good at it. So
All right,
People are
well, hey,
asking, who are these nobodies? Extremely famous nobodies. How dare you?
probably way more famous than some of the Titans players I've had on this. No, 100%.
Oh, no doubt, way more famous.
Zero.
So, no doubt.
The last, let's just go through the last several Rockin Randos from their he way more famous than David Stewart. Absolutely.
Way
Vincent
more.
Fuller, Roydell Williams. Absolutely. Like those Lamont Thompson. Yeah. All those Titans players are nobodies compared
These
to
people the two people I just showed you are world famous.
Yes.
So, but
Those
next
Titans
time I do
players
this,
were David Stewart was kind of famous within a market of fans.
right? He was a B- celebrity in Nashville.
Yeah, now Blessed Night says big country over Ninja and Jinxie. I'm just glad that it took me a while. I had to really sit on Ninja. I got it though. I'm proud.
I'm impressed. Ninja's. I am proud of you, and Rashid is right. Ninja and Jinxie are both objectively more famous than Cam Ward is today. Now that is probably going to change soon, but that's a fact. For what it's worth, that's how famous these people are. I'm glad. Next time I do this, the Brain Trust will we will come up with non-streamers because we've exhausted the streamers. We'll come up with some other Gen Z celebrities for you. But that was good. Points to Austin for I thought I would double stump him today, and he was double right. Well done.
Yeah, don't doubt me. You want to come out? You better come right.
I think our problem was we approached this like you're nearing 50, when in fact you're 35 years old. we need to dial back the ease of these celebrities for you.
Yeah, I mean, if anything to do with movies, I'm done. I'm over. I don't know actors.
You know what? That's what we'll do. We'll do young actors you should know next time.
I don't know actors my own age actors' names. Can't do it. Just can't do it.
Really?
Yes.
Can you tell me who starred in Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy?
The trilogy?
Yeah, his Batman. Who was Batman?
Oh God, you put me on the spot. I'm freaking out.
That's what I did a couple weeks ago when you asked me coaches.
Yeah, when I asked you defensive minds. Now I'm
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Yeah, Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
I quote American Nightmare,
American Psycho.
American Psycho all the time. So I know Christian Bale is. I just freaked out for a second.
You're in the headlights. I can see it in your eyes.
Yeah. Oh no. All right, I got to go return some videotapes. You guys be good here on this Monday. We'll catch you guys on a Tuesday. Buck Rising live tonight for A to Z Sports Prime Time at 7. Make sure you hit the like button, like the show, subscribe to our channel, 5-star Google review, do all of it. And we appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys later. Appreciate it.